We're looking at the notorious P&ID case, which was going to defraud Nigeria. The court in the UK has absolved the ex-Lagos State Attorney General of corruption allegations. Justice Robin Knowles of the Commercial Courts of England and Wales has ruled in favor of Nigeria. And we were looking at that the whole thing was a fraud and that it shouldn't be allowed. Now, you were saying that this indicates perhaps other possibilities that we need to now take another look at. Seeing as what was stopped now, thank God all of it wasn't done in Nigeria, I'm sorry to say. I'm very embarrassed to say that. But can you imagine if all of this had been done in Nigeria, the amount of interference so that they can arrive at a worked out end?
How we try to interfere with the process, deploying all kinds of shenanigans. How do we eliminate greed from those who are entrusted with the management of our affairs? How do we eliminate fraud from the procurement, and contractual process? But how do we reduce corruption to the minimum? How do we foster bribery in negotiation of national and international agreements? How do we work in the overall public interest in a manner that will not be offensive against public policy? That to me means it requires a radical overhaul of our entire system. We need institutional overhaul. We need systemic overhaul. We need to also go back to we need to enthrone the regime of respect for core values. There's a systemic breakdown.
Indeed.
There's an institutional breakdown. And there's lack of checks and adequate oversight on the activities of government institutions.
But it is said that, and you yourself alluded to the fact earlier that, look, these devices are in place, but what do you do when people keep overstepping these checks, these balances? They keep on overstepping. You're supposed to go through them one by one, but people now overstep them because they know that they couldn't possibly, if there were going to be interest, go through them legitimately. So I think it was the new EFCC chair, Ola Olukoyede, who was saying that Nigeria's mindset needs a very urgent reset.
Yes.
Which is what you've been saying.
Yes. We need to reset the mindset of Nigerians. I think they believe now that you can subvert the system and go away with it. There are no consequences,
unfortunately,
for criminal infractions.
We've always known this as the culture of impunity.
I said it before. If you want to fix the country, fix two particular institutions very well. Two institutions. Law enforcement institutions, I mean the police, and then the judiciary.
Indeed.
And when you're talking of the judiciary, you're talking of the bar, the bench, and all those who are stakeholders. Once we enthrone a regime of respect for law and order.
Without fear or favor.
Yes.
That's very important.
Rule of law and order. You can't, once you breach the law, no matter your status, you are brought to book.
That will be a happy day when Nigeria arrives at that destination. Yes. Good morning, Kayode in the UK.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning,
good
sir.
Morning,
good morning. Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Now, I congratulate Nigeria on this victory in court. I have followed this case for a very long time, and I congratulate Nigeria. I congratulate the previous regime. I also congratulate Professor Oshibaju, who I followed this review of the case. Now, this case is at the root of corruption in Nigeria. And I want the government to institute a commission to review this case and the judgment and bring out a white paper, and then all the people who are involved or who are implicated must be prosecuted. Because we cannot say we are fighting corruption. Well, because what will have happened to Nigeria if $11 billion came out of our reserves? This is an embarrassment, but I will want the government to prosecute those who are involved. And there's no need to spare anybody in this matter, because this is a very, very essential case, because it will have ruined this country. That's my contribution.
Indeed. Thank you very much for calling in, Kayode from the UK. It would have virtually ruined the country. And then the reputation of the country as well. So everybody keeps on calling, and I'm sure the administration, is listening. We need to know, in line with renewed hope agenda, that it's not business as usual.
Yes.
Because these are the kind of things that everybody is now saying that all of this is shrouded in secrecy. And to be frank, a lot of commentators have said that they're not actually optimistic. Now, I think President Tinubu needs to prove them wrong.
Yes.
That they're not optimistic that we'll go there. We need to go there. We need to do that. And that is what everybody is calling in for. Okay, let us, now that it has been proved that they were about to defraud Nigeria if it had been allowed, now that that has been proved, the next step is these people need to be named as a sort of a deterrent to those still within the system who are going to want to continue business as usual.
As usual, yes. Well, I have faith in this president. I don't know why. I have faith in Ahmed Bola Tinubu that is going to, and the team he has assembled. Mm-hmm. I believe that with patience of Nigerians, we will begin to see things ordered in the proper way. And if you see the quality of people who are manning our economy now, if you look at the CBN governor, Minister of Finance, the heads people, ministers, and the quality of our assembly in terms of cabinet, the attorney general. I think there's hope.
They say often that the devil is in the details. These people, these areas of life that you've mentioned, the central bank, the economy, and the judiciary, the details, it's what we've been talking about. Now that we have a case like this, you said it, that Nigerians can really be crying hallelujah. We've escaped the bullet this time. But we now need to keep it there,
yes.
Whatever it's going to take, because Nigeria was very, very lucky. Everybody is saying...
It was either we sink or we swim or swing.
And we mustn't allow this to happen.
Yes,
again.
and God just gave us a window.
And part of that is, I think...
We should do a reappraisal.
The government has to do that.
Sober reflection.
Yes.
In-house cleaning.
Now the contention is over. It is clear that this company by these two Irishmen set up exclusively to defraud Nigeria. It has been spoiled. It has been called what it is. Now the next step is...
He said the company was deliberately prepared.
Yes.
Prepared for bribery.
For bribery. So the collaborators...
Engine of fraud.
The collaborators in Nigeria should not...
Go scot-free.
They should not go scot-free. Even if it is no more than just name them and shame them so we know they can't come out again. Because the tenacity of Nigerians can be something else. In as long as those who are involved in this are not named, even if they say shame is sometimes a very rare commodity, at least they're not named, they will show up at other deal tables.
Yes.
Saying that, look, this is what I do, this is a fresh new day. No, it's not a fresh new day. It's like, I think it was President Buhari who said it in his time, that it's not going to be business as usual.
Okay. Maybe another issue that has been raised, I think is critical, is for us to enter a regime of due diligence before any contract is entered into on behalf of Nigeria.
Yeah.
There must be painstaking investigation. Due diligence.
But
apart from the checklist.
You said it. You said a project of this magnitude was in the offing, and you didn't advise the office of the Attorney General. So they know that that's one checkpoint.
Yes.
And so they didn't want to go there.
Yes.
And it happened.
Yes.
The contract was actually signed.
Yes.
Who by, it might be asked, who signed for Nigeria? Does he have did that person have the authority? So these kind of things, they seem like what any first-year legal student would be familiar with.
I think the starting point is to domicile all powers and responsibilities by rule of law in the office of the Attorney General.
Okay.
All agencies, without
Okay.
exception.
Okay. Okay.
All agencies, without exception, should clear from the Attorney General. When you want to commit Nigeria, the Attorney General is the Chief Law Officer of the Federation. If we need to beef up that office to support the vision of this current Attorney General, we should do it. The Attorney General, you see, is a very, so no contract should be signed without being clearance from the office of the Attorney General.
I would just like to believe that the Tinubu administration, being what it is, a renewed hope, a reformist agenda, is already working on this. That this kind of a thing cannot happen again. Julius in the UK, good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for calling.
To the gentleman.
Yes.
The lawyer.
Wahab Shittu, SAN.
Well. You've handled this case very well. Sorry? Hello? Hello?
Hello, Julius. We can hear you. Please continue.
Yeah, you've done very well. So far, I'm happy. And I don't want to label the obvious. But the one point I wanted to mention, when we mentioned President Buhari, you didn't mention Oshibajo. What role did Oshibajo play? Because I believe he played a very positive role in this investigation.
Oh, okay. You wanted to add that. If I had got to Julius.
I didn't hear people mention Oshibajo. And I know he played a very positive role to ensure that this thing was carried to a logical conclusion.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Julius. It's like flowers should not be withheld. Let everybody get their flowers.
No, of course.
Oshibajo,
I'll be the very first person
Oshibajo,
to also acknowledge the role of Professor Yemi Oshibajo, a very seasoned.
Another SAN.
And my teacher, he taught me law. So there's no attempt to downplay the role of anybody. I think in the same way, I've also referenced the role played by Magu.
Yes.
By Magu.
Yes.
On the EFCC under Magu. And I think he played a very good.
So there was, thank God for all these legal luminaries over the administrations. There was a closing of ranks in support of Nigeria. So enough is enough. This is not going. This cannot be allowed. And so all these legal luminaries, they came together. The ones that are not lawyers, they are forensic experts. You mentioned specifically former EFCC chair Magu and the role that he played.
And some private lawyers.
And exactly
in EFCC.
So a whole.
A lot of people, they worked together, and there was this a lot of them came together. There was an adult intelligence committee put together to work on this problem. So and under the direction of the office of the then VP, and then the Attorney General himself, Malami also played a very useful role. All of them played a very useful role. And they also made mistakes.
If Malami played this important role, why was he accusing a lawyer that the judge will not come later on?
Malami
say, I don't know what the man
delivers
is talking
some
about.
positives. He also delivered a lot of negatives.
Okay.
Well, we know that. For instance, why throw somebody like Magu?
Yes.
Who played this role under the boss? Why do that? I don't think he has any justification for doing that.
Okay. Tayo in the UK. Good morning to you, sir.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. Yeah, it's a great opportunity to call your show, and you'll be doing a fantastic job. What I just want to say regarding this is that everyone, to be honest, I know most of Nigeria, in the UK or all over the world, they are watching what Nigeria government is going to take, the action they're going to take regarding this.
Tayo, I'm so sorry. The network connection was literally shaky. We couldn't hear you. I don't know. See if you could do a quick redial and perhaps you'll be able to get in. I'm so sorry that we couldn't hear you. We'd love to hear what you wanted to say. But I think the general trend we've been having in the calls that have been made is that, look, Nigeria needs to be congratulated on this, but I expect that the other thing is how this will never happen again, and that was what you were on, where people gang up, including, it's all right for two crooked Irishmen, but the Nigerian part of it is what boggles the mind.
Well, I think the government has to take the fight against corruption very, very seriously. You see, there's pervasive corruption in the land.
Because if not, it can end up like this. And these guys were about to walk
when we are
$11
talking
billion
of the fight against corruption, we are talking of a fight that will save the soul of Nigeria. It's not something, it's a collaborative effort. It's not for EFCC, ICPC alone. It's a collective fight.
You were saying earlier when you were mentioned the other SAN Malami, the former Attorney General, and but why would Malami put himself in a position where a judge in a foreign jurisdiction and judges depend not on their opinion, on the facts before them, saying that there's nothing here whatsoever to even persuade me that the Attorney General of Nigeria actually believed that this man was corrupt?
You know, during the era of President Buhari, Malami was extremely very powerful. Malami was extremely very powerful. He was very powerful. I think
we got this other caller from Seville in Spain. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Calling from Spain.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to say a big congratulations to Nigeria, but we should not lose the fact that there are other contracts like this. What Mr. President needs to do is he should not look at anybody's face or should there be a sacred cow? No. Everybody should be treated as Nigerians, not necessarily, oh, this is don't touch. Because there are a lot of civil servants. I was once in Nigeria. There are a lot of civil servants who would do anything to put the government in problem. Thank God we have gone through this one and we have been saved. There is another silver bullet that may be somewhere waiting for Nigeria. So congratulations to Nigeria. If the president is listening to your program, I think he should have an idea of what to do.
Indeed.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, and thank you very much for calling in.
Uncle Yori, closely related to this is that, the reality today, we want this government to succeed. Every patriotic Nigerian should want this government to succeed. How do you succeed? How will the government succeed without resources? That's a big challenge. And if the reality is that the country is broke, then we must look in the direction of recovering our stolen loot.
Indeed.
We must look in the direction of...
As we are blocking leakages.
Unexplained words. There must be government deliberate policy. You're not just keeping people behind bars. People must cover the loot. And we have the institutional capacity to achieve this.
Indeed.
It's not that this country is not, there's no money. It's that some of the Commonwealth is siphoned by a few greedy people. And we can trace them.
Indeed. And just as you were saying, the former Attorney General of Lagos State, Shashore, the judge said that he worked to even lessen the impact of the loss to Nigeria should the worst come to the worst. That's on the one hand. There are others in there that had this gone the other way, we're going to partake in the largesse.
Yes.
Now, there's also that, and Nigeria is aware of that. And as that gentleman who called in from Spain has said, and others have said, Nigeria needs to know the identities of these other Nigerians. They are Nigerians. We can't strip them of citizenship. They are Nigerians, but those are not patriots. And they would have also perhaps have been part of the landlords we hear about up and down in Abuja or wherever, who have 27 properties to their name and that kind of a thing. Unexplained wealth, you spoke about that.
Stolen wealth.
Stolen wealth.
Access in excess of legitimate earnings.
So, and everybody is just looking the other way.
There should be a policy,
There needs to be a way to begin to, I don't know, lest it be called witch hunting. No. You've just spoken about wealth that cannot be explained and also stolen wealth. I don't know how government will do the delicate operation of, because there's also taxation involved, they must do the delicate operation of, look, we can't have this situation where mind your business.
Well,
we've heard it said in this town, sir, in this land, sir, that is your money lost? Leave it. He's our thief.
No. You see,
he's a thief.
The way the unexplained wealth mechanism works is that once you are found in possession of humongous wealth, you have a duty of explanation.
You do.
Once you cannot explain it, explain the source of it, there should be a mechanism for confiscation, a mechanism for forfeiture.
Exactly.
No, we have all that in other climes.
Well, yes, I understand that in France.
Yes, you have it.
You assume to be guilty, come and prove your innocence.
Yes, our Section 74 of the Proceeds of Crime Act that we have just 2022. You know, this specifically with this problem. You can
let's take Ade in the UK. Good morning, Ade in the UK.
You just delayed me for more than 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Oh, sorry about that.
Anyway, it's all right.
10 minutes?
My contribution.
Apologies.
My contribution. It's all right. It's all right. I congratulate the poor masses in Nigeria. I didn't congratulate Nigeria as a whole. The poor masses, whose children will have been paying this debt. I'm surprised that Malami is working freely today. Under Malami news, the former Accountant General was alleged to have corrupted over 100 billion. Malami signed an agreement. They didn't take the case to court. They settled. In Nigeria, over 100 billion. Former Accountant General, the whole world knows it. And Malami is roaming about. He wanted to contest for election in governor. He distributed SUV. He was even proud to say he would chair an aeroplane until he married our former president's daughter. They asked him to withdraw, not to contest for governorship. And nobody is talking about Malami. They just left him like that. He sacked the EFCC chairman. He brought his soul, so they won't probe him. I encourage the current Attorney General to probe Malami. All he has been doing. Where did he get the money to be out during the time he picked up the form of governorship? Why did he let the former Accountant General off? Over 100 billion corruption. So I congratulate the master of Nigeria. If it's my wish, I will have made Nigeria lose the election. So they would learn. But for the poor masses, I thank God.
Thank you very much for calling in. Well, as somebody said, if they're listening, and I assure you they are listening, it doesn't mean that President Tinubu is listening personally, but certainly the office, the relevant office that monitors these things is monitoring, and they can see what Nigeria is feeling. In fact, I think would it be right to conjecture that Nigerians actually need a statement from government upon this?
Of course, already there's a statement. The Attorney General of the Federation's office has released a statement. And the statement is quite patriotic. That is a congratulation to the entire country.
Yes.
And that they are determined to combat corruption henceforth. And that they will not allow this kind of greed.
But they didn't add that, and we're going to name and shame all those Nigerians.
No, if you read the statement,
you will see
that this government is determined to right all the wrongs.
Because that is the one thing. Well, Barrister Shittu, it's as you said, it's a very large. It was delivered in open court and by email, and then there was a PDF, 100 and something pages.
Yes.
If anybody,
140 pages.
140 pages.
Let me just add, Uncle Yori, that,
sure, sir.
When we suggest that our stolen words should be recovered, and that unexplained words should also be, forfeited to federal government, we are not saying that should be done at the expense of respect for the rule of law.
Of course not.
Yes. We can take the rule of law on board and still recover our stolen word.
Because you believe that there is much of that out there that can be recovered.
As you know,
well,
Nigeria is not broke, it's that our word is stolen.
I want to thank you very much, Barrister Wahab Shittu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, for coming on our program this morning.
It's my pleasure, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes.